Comunidad de Roastbrief, nos encontramos en Advertising Week Latam 2025, día 2. Y tengo un gran invitado a mi lado. Él es Ricardo Prado, Marketing Insights Manager de Samsung Ads Latinoamérica. Ricardo, how you doing? You just had your panel. How was it? How did you feel about it?
It was really exciting. Before anything, thank you so much for the invitation to be here talking. And I think it's a special time here in Mexico because of the World Cup. It's the biggest event in the world, and it's gonna happen here in Mexico next year.
Yes.
So all the study...
It's gonna be huge.
Huge. And all the study was to understand how Mexicans are watching TV now, how their behavior watching TV has changed, and how we can take advantage of all this changing to approach them during the World Cup, thinking about the brands and the agencies, how to communicate properly with them. So that was the biggest idea of this study.
You present a study who talks about all of these insights and all of this data. What are the main topics that this study talks about?
First thing, I think something that we need to have in mind now is connected TV provides a lot of information. We don't think as connected TV as a source of data as we see in mobile, for example.
Okay.
But what we try to show in this study is we can go so granular that we can understand minute by minute what happened during a football match.
Okay.
For example, one thing that we see.
That's really interesting though, yeah.
It's really interesting and it's something that's really hard to see because you need to be able to follow every minute of every TV. In Mexico, Samsung has almost 10 million TVs, so it's a huge sample. When you see data from this sample, basically you can see that's the way Mexicans watch TV, because it's about almost 38 million people watching those TVs. And just to give you an idea, if we go that granular, looking to the football match, we see 1 hour before the match, people started to connect to that channel. During the match, depending on what happened, for example, if a goal happened, sometimes you are not watching the match. You're doing something else, watching another content.
Yeah, so maybe I'm just following the match on my social media posts.
Exactly,
yeah.
Or you hear your neighbor screaming.
Oh yeah, I hear a lot of my neighbors screaming like crazy.
You want to see what's happening, so you see all this movement.
Yes.
And the opportunity for the brands to be there when people are deciding what to see. So you do something else, you go to see the goal, or when they deliver the trophy, there's really good moments to put your brand. So it's important now to understand how this behavior happened, how the fragmentation makes everything difficult to the brands and agencies, but also understand that the connected TV today has a lot of information to help agencies and brands.
Yes, and there's a lot of information, but what about the fans that are not so into football, but they consume football?
Yeah.
I mean, what can you tell us about that? Because they're huge. They are a huge audience too. I mean, for instance, here in Mexico, there's going to be a lot of people visiting and going to these stadiums, but there's a lot of people that's not going to be doing that. So.
No. Yeah, definitely. So if you ask, we asked people during this survey, where do you prefer to watch a football match during the World Cup? And for 90% of these people, they said that they prefer to watch in their houses. With their family and
rather
friends.
than go to the stadium.
Rather than go to the stadium. I think most of the people wants to share that experience to watch the national team. Because I think the experience in the World Cup is something that connects us. Because we are all supporting the same team. We are together. There's a word cloud in my study that shows the words that people more mention during the study. Passion, emotion, sharing, proud. All these messages is something that we feel when we are watching our national team playing in the World Cup. It's like a sharing experience, connecting. Of course, it's important. A lot of people want to go to the stadium and watch the match, but the experience sharing this with your family and friends in your house, it's bigger. And mainly watching in the connected TV. Because that's the most premium place to watch this kind of content.
That's quite interesting, and it's so relevant. But I mean, data, it's so important. But it's also important the intuition. I mean, the gut, this human feeling that shows something that looks interesting. We can work on that. How do you work with this balance between data and this human touch?
We need to connect both, and it's a problem because I work with.
It might be a problem. Yeah, it might be a
is.
problem.
Because for example, I see data all the day. A lot of numbers, a lot of tables. So it's basically a number. You need to put some information there and understand what that means. That's why we work with partners to talk to the consumers and ask them, what do you feel when you're watching a football match? Then they say these kinds of things. For example, what kind of messages touch you more when you're seeing advertising in TV? One thing that we notice is people pay more attention during the World Cup. They remember more of the advertising. And if you use some topics like social causes, this is something it was really new for me. I wasn't expecting this in the interviews, but they said that if you're using social causes in your communication, people tend to pay more attention and go together. Because the World Cup makes us be together. That's the spirit of group, to belong to the same place. And then you see someone that is needing something. If you use this in your message and you support someone that's trying to help people, that's the key strategy for the advertisers during the World Cup. It's a moment where our emotions are more, higher.
That's really interesting. And before we end up this great interview, and thank you so much for being here, how do you see all of these things? I mean, how do you see the future that is not that far? How do you see that consumers are going to be consuming the World Cup, and how brands are preparing for it?
Brands need to understand what their consumers are doing. They need to use data. They need to take advantage that TV today can provide almost the same level of data that the mobile can provide. And not all the brands are using this, so you need to have this in your plan.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, it's been a privilege for me, Ricardo. Thank you so much for being here. We hope to have you here one more time, and every time you need, you have a space here at Roastbrief. Thank you so much. It's been a privilege for me.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure, really. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Comunidad de Roastbrief, continuamos en Ad Week. Chao, chao.